What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Today, just to have a little chat about my mindset entering 2023 in the sports card world. And a lot of it can be summed up by this box right here. We're not gonna go through this box. It's just a prop. This will be in an upcoming video coming soon. But I've been hearing a lot of people talk recently. If you're not following JMac on YouTube has done a really good video series of his kind of journey over the last few weeks of really ramping up his eBay business. Dakota over at Sports Cards Anonymous has been talking about getting rid of a lot of stuff that's just kind of laying around. It's just taking up space. It's just laying around. And, as I sit here at the beginning of the year, I had some time off between Christmas and New Year's. And specifically this past weekend, I wanted to kind of reorganize, the area that I record in and where most of my cards are stored and stuff like that. And I was just kind of cleaning up, putting things away, moving some shelving around, reorganizing some wax that I had bought. And I said to myself, what are we doing with all this stuff? And what I meant by all this stuff is I had boxes laying around of just like base rookies. Some of it, like a lot of the baseball that I had ripped. Like just C.J. Abrams, base rookie. Spencer Torkelson, base rookie. Bobby Witt, base rookie. Like $1 to $2 cards, maybe $3 cards. I still had, and I still have, even after this, and we'll talk about what this is here in a minute. I still have a bunch of rookie color and base rookies and inserts from 2019 Optic basketball. I ripped a ton of 2019 Optic basketball because I was finding it on the store shelves, and 2019 Mosaic. And a lot of the cards just sat. Some of the really, really low end, like real junk stuff, I sent off to Star Stock and kind of offloaded there. But there was like some in between stuff that I held on to. Like, let me give you an example. Like Cam Johnson Optic Hollow rookie that was not gradable. Most of this stuff is probably PSA 9. It's not jacked up or anything, but it wouldn't PSA 10. Darius Garland base prisms, Jason Tatum Optic Hollow My House inserts. Are they worth a ton of money? No. They're probably $3 to $5 cards, $2 cards in some cases. Some of them actually $10 and $15 cards. I had some base Sapphire rookies laying around from the Bowman box that I opened last year. Just stuff like that, just sitting in boxes. I have the desk that you see here that I record on. I got a 3-monitor setup, cameras, microphones, the whole 9 yards. And then the backdrop that you see behind me in the videos. And then over my left shoulder is the backdrop that you see with the comic books and the Star Wars toys and the Sentinel and all that. Over my right shoulder is just like one of those plastic white folding 4x6 tables that you can get at Sam's Club or Walmart or Target or whatever. And across that had just accumulated just junk. It's kind of like my dumping area. It's just, when you walk in and you just throw your keys on the counter, and that little, wherever you throw your stuff when you walk in the house, over time, it just accumulates a bunch of junk, and then you purge it and you're like, no, never again. We're not going to let this build up again with mail and just stupid stuff. That's the white plastic table that's over my right shoulder. So this past weekend, I spent some time cleaning it up, and what I basically turned it into was a shipping center, a supply center. I am terrible about this, and this is kind of my theme. It's just to the beginning of this year is getting organized, kind of resetting things, kind of taking inventory, kind of taking stock of where I'm at, what I have, what I need to do. And that's kind of what I want to, maybe, I'm sure I'm not the only one like this. If you're watching this and you look around your card room or wherever you kind of do all your stuff, and if any of this stuff sounds like you, maybe it's time to, just shake it and shake yourself and say, okay, we got to just start knocking this out and getting one little thing done here or there. And that's kind of how I've approached this to the beginning of the year. Each day I just kind of took a little section and I was like, all right, let's go through this pile and get this done. So as I worked through that desk, and what I turned it into, like I said, is part shipping, part supplies. Part of my problem is I'd have team bags laying around, both just generic team bags and like the graded sleeves for like BGS, Beckett, PSA, SGC, like all those laying around, penny sleeves, top loaders, mags. And I'd have them, and they'd be in random piles and different, like the PSA team bags would be in the same pile as the SGC team bags, just all this nonsense. And I just wanted it more organized. So I cleaned out the table, laid all that stuff out, got all my supplies organized in that area. I had boxes like the white shoes of cards, like the 2 rows. I like the 2 rows with a bunch of Marvel cards in it from boxes that I had opened this year. I got those all organized and put them on a shelf just to get those off the table. I wanted to get things off that table. And part of that was I found a bunch of those $1, $2, or $2 cards up to, maybe $15 or $20 cards. And listen, I don't have a ton of time. I'm like everybody else. I'm lucky in one respect of I don't have kids, so I have a little bit more time than probably the average person because I'm not chasing a kid around, not running the practice all the time. So I have that benefit to me. But I work a full-time job. I do this, in the nights and evenings on my downtime. The wife and I are always pretty busy. She's working a lot, but I just don't have, I don't know if it's the time or the patience or just the monotony of listing stuff like this and shipping it on eBay. It's just, I don't know what it is. It just grinds me that I'm like, just dealing with that low end stuff. Shout out once again, J-Max been a fantastic job doing eBay stuff over on his videos lately. And I'm sure he's not the only one, but I've kind of fallen into this loop of watching his stuff recently as he's kind of expanded out this eBay journey. And that's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm just not wired to do that. I'm just not. So I'm going to, I went through all that stuff and I picked out, initially it was 50 cards. And I was like, nah, I got more. I pulled out another 50 and I actually pulled out another 50. This is 150 cards. These I am sending to a website that I have not used a ton, but it's one that everyone tells me is excellent. Dakota talks about it all the time. Dustin, Personal Finance Dad, talks about it all the time. The Sports Card Radio guys talk about it all the time. I've had people in the comments talk to me about it all the time. And I've never really used it outside the occasional one-off purchase here and there because of EPAC, and that is COMC. So I'm sending this stuff off to COMC. I'll pay the 50 cent, 55 cent, whatever it is, ingestion fee. And for the convenience of not having to touch the stuff and deal with shipping and printing out eBay plain white envelopes and all that stuff that I just don't want to deal with. I just don't want to deal with it. And part of it too is I look back there and I look at that table and I don't know what's in here. A few $100, maybe. I don't know, maybe 300, maybe 400. I really don't know. I'm going to do a quick flip through these on a reveal or on a submission video that I'll put up later in the week or maybe next week. But that's like, I don't know, let's just conservatively say $300, maybe 300 profit. Let's say there's 400 in there. It's going to cost me, I think, $75 to upload it. So let's say that's $300 in profit of cards just that were just sitting behind me in a pile. And I'm sure, once again, maybe I'm the only one. I doubt it. But I would be curious for your all thoughts and comments. If you look around yourself right now, assuming you're in your office or your bedroom or wherever it is that you store your stuff, and you just walk into your card room or whatever your card desk, whatever situation it is that you have, I'm sure if you look around, you probably have nonsense laying around that you're like, what am I really doing with this stuff? It's stuff, in all honesty, because I know, once again, this is the thought process I was going through. I should have listed this stuff forever ago. And I just didn't either have the motivation. I didn't feel like dealing with it, whatever the case might be. But part of my mindset at the beginning of this year is just get this stuff cleaned out. This is a few $100 that I could be using to buy things that I actually want, or that I think have more flip potential, or just easier to move in and out of than, I don't know, we'll just pull like one random card out of here, a Jalen Green base prism. Like, this is not something I feel like listing on eBay and dealing with a plain right envelope shipping. I don't set up at card shows. I could if I wanted to. I'm sure I could probably get a table at a local if I really wanted to and price all this stuff and set up a dollar box or whatever the case might be. But once again, I just don't have the time for that. I have time to go to the show for a couple hours and then get out of there and get back to the other stuff that I have to do in a day. but I don't have time to sit there for 8 hours and maybe sell through it. I would rather just send this stuff off the COMC. If it sells, it sells. Some of it I might price all of it immediately. Some of the baseball stuff, depending on how quickly it gets uploaded, I might actually just sit in my inventory for a hot minute in case one of the prospects pops off or something. But these are all cards, other than a handful, that I really have no major vested interest in. I've just kind of accumulated them over the last really 2 to 3 years. I know this isn't a ton. I have a lot more. Like I said, that when you're sending in the COMC, everyone tells me don't send anything less than $1 or $2 because you have to pay 50 cents to get it uploaded. So you want to make sure you're at least going to make a little bit of profit off of that. So I was a little bit restrictive on what I wanted to send in. I have a lot more lower end stuff that could probably go, but I'm going to see how this goes. And like I said, I could probably fill up one more box of stuff like this to send in. And then I kind of want to, give the COMC thing a shot. We'll see what happens. This will be a way to kind of fund the initial little, I got like $10 in my account, $15, I think, in my COMC account. So I'll have this inventory in there. I'll sell through it, and then I'll take that money and, maybe play around day trading on COMC like I used to in the Star Stock days. It's a little bit different. I'm really trying to adjust to the website platform. I haven't spent a ton of time still on it yet, but I'm sure I'll learn it over time. And, maybe we'll do videos on it. Maybe we won't. We'll see how it goes. But my main point is just, I look back at that box and I said, would I rather have that taking up all this space, or would I rather have the couple $100 and use that to go buy, I don't know, a hobby box of something, or a sealed Magic box, or a Pokemon booster box, or a CGC slab, or a PSA slab, or a graded, an Evan Mobley auto, whatever. I just know that there's like not a million, but there's a lot of other things I would rather have than this stuff taking up one space. And it was just getting the motivation to go do it. So I guess that's my challenge to you to start the year, is look around. Do you have stuff like this just chilling and you're just not motivated to get rid of it? Do something with it. Like, maybe COMC is not the answer for you. It might not be the answer for me. Obviously, they're a well-respected platform. They've been around forever. I'm sure it's all going to be fine. I'm not worried about any of those aspects of it. But do something with it. Get yourself motivated. Put a huge bulk lot together, go to your local show and sell it for 50% comps. Like, what's the difference? Like, I could take this, and am I better off with it just literally collecting dust back there? Or, people give dealers crap all the time. They want to buy stuff like this, and they only offer me 50 or 60% on it. If you have the time to sit here and sort through this stuff and list it and standard envelope it like JMac does, fantastic. You'll kill it. You'll crush it. I don't. I just don't have the mental headspace for it. I don't have the time for it. That's me. You might be wired differently, and that is perfectly okay. Work through it. But would you rather take 50 to 60% on this, or send it off the COMC and pay their upload charge to not really have to deal with it? To me, those are better options than it just continuing to collect dust back there. Regardless of what your path is, just do something with it. If you have stuff like this laying around, whether it's cards, comics, other collectibles, maybe it's wax, whatever it is, I'm sure you have a pile of nonsense that you look at and been like, I should really sell that stuff. One of my challenges this year is also to start the year is to just list more things on eBay. Basically anything like 15 or 20 bucks or over. I've been trying to list a card or two a day. Nothing crazy. What did I put up the other day? Let me see if I got something laying around here. I put these up. They're probably $15, $20 cards. Maybe not even. When I was sorting through, I found these and I thought, this will be better on eBay versus the COMC box. It's a Nick Claxton who's been playing really well with the Nets. I threw this up on eBay for like 20 bucks, buy it now, best offer. And there's a bunch of KPJ in here. I had this one back when I was buying KPJ heavy when he was on the Cavs. It's an out of 99 red infinite base Donruss, or out of regular Donruss, not optic, obviously not a base card. I think I put this up for like 25 or 30 bucks, best offer, buy it now. We'll see what happens. I had, here's another one. This was another perfect example. I had this Venom comic cut that I had forever since I bought that or ripped that box of Spider-Man. It's a great looking card. It's fantastic. I had it up for a high best offer, buy it now just to kind of see what happened. I got some offers. I never accepted them. I probably should have at some point in time, but I didn't. It is what it is. And I just decided, I'm like, I have no real attachment to this card at all. It's a cool comic cut. Yes. I have no real attachment to it. It's not a Gwen. It's a cool card. I'm not like, I know a lot of people like this cover and this artist. It's whatever to me. There's other symbiote stuff I like better. There's other things I would rather have. I would rather have a nice Gwen for the prices this could potentially get me. So I just cut the listing and I just ran it at auction. It's running right now at 99 cents. Is what it is. Whatever it gets, it gets. It's fine. But it was just taking up space in my case and I didn't really feel super attached to it. So I would rather just have the money to go use that towards other things that I think either have better potential or to just own something in the collection that I would rather have, one or the other. Same with this. I would rather use this to either add a piece to something that I actually want in my collection or add something that I think has a better flip potential. And then also, like I said, there's a space component to this as well. I just don't want this stuff laying around. Dakota really struck me when he said the other day, like, I don't want cards he didn't want cards in his office anymore. And I'm not going to go that extreme, but I just don't want stuff like this laying around anymore. So for me, COMC is the answer. For JMac, it's mass selling on eBay. I believe Bobbles of Paul Cards is doing this too. He's kind of ramped up things. But that's my mindset to start the year. That's where I'm at. That's my challenge to you. I'm curious. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you have laying around like this? Do you have a pile of shame, I guess, for lack of a better word or term for this? So that's my mindset to start 2023. We'll see how long it lasts. I'd like to clear through this stuff and we'll see what happens. We'll document it along the way. I will do a video on what I'm sending in. We'll flip through this box very quickly. It's 150 cards. But we'll do that in a video either later this week or early next week. I'm going to get ready to ship this stuff out. And then I'll update you guys as we kind of work through it on COMC. Maybe once everything gets loaded up and I list everything for sale and I make some sales on it, I'll kind of do a little update to it. Might be a couple months. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where we're at. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.